Welcome to video 2, still on environments. So now you're looking at me and you're looking at the screen and you can see that I'm highlighting where it says, where do plants and animals live? So what we are doing today is we are going to further discuss the environments. Now environments are places where plants and animals live. There are lots of names for environments. One type of environmental name would be a biome, which we'll talk about. Another type would be habitat. Now, I want you to think about the habitat that your animal from all God's creation came from. Do you see that habitat or environment in the picture in front of us? I sure do. So as I look at this, as I look at my picture, I can see that the first one has an animal here in the picture. Can you see that animal? Yes, that is a lion. Did anyone do the lion as their all God's creation animal? Yes, they did. So here in this lion is living in a certain type of environment. We can notice this in the background. We can notice this and some of the plants that are surrounded by the lion. Now, does the lion live in the Arctic? Does the lion live in a forest? Does the lion live under the water? No. No, he does not. So most likely we would call the environment that a lion lives in would be grasslands. They appreciate that. And also areas with small bodies of water like this one, which is it looks like a lake to me perhaps. And also areas with rocks because that's where they like to have their pride or their family. Now, the next environment I want you to introduce is over here at the bottom left. That is the ocean environment. Did anyone have an animal that lived in an ocean environment? Probably. And even if it's not an ocean environment, perhaps it was a freshwater environment. Now, we know that oceans have freshwater or saltwater. That's right. Oceans have salt water. So what are some examples of freshwater locations? Lakes, streams, ponds. Now, even outside here, Benicia, also in Vallejo and also in Sassoon and Fairfield, you can go and you can see the bay. And the bay actually has brackish water. Do you remember what brackish water is? It's a combination of salt and fresh water. So here is our second environment. It is the ocean. Our next environment that we're going to discuss is the forest, which is right next to the ocean. You can see it here. So in the forest, we know that there are certain types of plants. These big tall guys are trees, good. And down here we might see some moss, roots, smaller plants that look like trees, but they're really small. They're called bushes. Some of you had that in your flashcards today when you were doing your initial reading on this. And the forest is a place for certain types of animals. You are not going to find the Nemo fish from the ocean inside the forest. What kind of animals might we find there? Bears, foxes, even raccoons, possums. We might find mice or deer. Lots of animals that belong in a forest. Not going to find many lions in the forest. Lions are not, for some reason they're called the king of the jungle. They don't like the jungle. Tigers like the jungle. So this lion, he's not going to spend a lot of time in the forest. And then our last environment on this page is covered with this gigantic lizard. And I like him. He's a little bit creepy. It looks like he's sunbathing. And this environment is a great place to sunbathe. It is the desert, which is known for being what? Very hot, very dry, not a lot of water. Many people think the desert has very little life, but it actually has a lot of life. And God has made desert animals so that they can survive in the desert environment. They have either adapted to being nocturnal, which means, that's right, they live during the nighttime, or they're awake during nighttime and they're asleep during the day, or perhaps they use the sun to help regulate their body temperature, like this lizard friend of ours, or they don't need much water in order to survive. So think of camels. Camels are well known for surviving in the desert. A lot of people think that the camels in their humps, they think there's water in there. There's not water in there. And actually inside there is a layer of fat, and that fat helps them to cool down. They also have a really neat adaptation to help them live in the desert, and that adaptation is the ability to cover their eyes with long eyelids during sandstorms to keep them safe. All right, so what we're going to do now is you should see this page in front of you on my paper. And what I want you to do down here at the bottom where it says environment is I want you in each bubble to write the name of one of the environments that we saw on the first page. So you can use the first page of this video. You can use the extra assignment that I attached without the video in order to write down those three names. So we would need all three environments that we will be studying right here. We will also do a small study on environments with snow and different other certain types of forests. But in this case, we just want to identify the three that we saw in the initial introductory page. Okay, do that now. Pause me. All right, welcome back. Here is our last one, and I wanted to show you this one. This is called How to Read Science. So what I would do here is I would probably have the kids read to me, and I wish you could. So what we'll do is I'm going to give you a few moments, maybe pause me, try to read it yourself, and then read it with me. Different animals live in different places. The sea otter has thick fur that keeps it warm in water. The black bear has thick fur that keeps it warm on land. Now, when we were studying our small books, I believe almost every small book had a section on blubber. Now, blubber is a layer of fat beneath the skin in certain animals, such as sea otters, which live in the very cold ocean in order to keep them warm, plus their fur. And then if you look at this bear also will have a layer of fat to keep him warm, as well as the thick fur that keeps him warm. Now, at the bottom, it asks us, where can different animals with fur live? So if you think about it, they need the fur in order to stay warm. That means that if they're in an environment that's already warm, like the desert, they don't need their fur anymore. So God made them so they could live in environments that are not the desert. So environments that are cold, wet, rainy, perhaps environments that don't have a lot of sun. Maybe the sun is blocked by heavy trees. Or environments that are cold in the water, like the sea otter. So I hope you've enjoyed our little study of environments. We will be doing more of this. So I'll see you again on Thursday for our next environment lesson. And until then, go be curious, go find a book on environments, go study your favorite environment just for fun. All right, have fun, guys. Bye.